Angels say, your soulmate just lost control after seeing this in you. My beloved child. There is a moment unfolding around you that no clock can measure, yet the heavens have already witnessed it. Someone connected to your destiny looked at you, or remembered something about you, and everything inside them shifted without warning. They tried to stay calm. They tried to convince themselves it meant nothing. But the more they resisted, the stronger the feeling became. The angels whisper that what captured their heart was never your appearance alone. It was something far deeper. Something they never expected to find. That hidden quality awakened emotions they had buried for far too long, and now they cannot silence them anymore. The strange part is that they still do not fully understand what is happening to them. Every attempt to move on somehow leads them back to thoughts of you. Every distraction fades. Every excuse loses its power. Don't skip. The next truth explains why this reaction has become impossible for them to ignore. What did they see that changed everything? It was not perfection. It was not wealth or status. It was the quiet strength you carried through battles no one else noticed. While others only saw ordinary moments, your soulmate unknowingly sensed the light created by every hardship you survived without giving up. That silent resilience reached them in ways words never could. They began comparing every connection from their past to the feeling your presence awakened, and nothing measured up. Suddenly, memories they thought were forgotten returned with unusual clarity. Small details about you became impossible to erase. Even the simplest reminders seemed to follow them everywhere, as if invisible hands kept placing your image before their eyes. They started asking themselves questions they had avoided for years. What if they almost missed the one person they were always meant to find? Stay till the end, because their next decision could reshape both of your futures. Yet another mystery remains hidden. Your soulmate has not completely surrendered to these emotions. Part of them still fears the changes this connection demands. They know that opening their heart means leaving behind old fears, familiar habits, and the comfort of pretending they feel nothing. That inner struggle has become louder than ever, and the angels say it cannot continue much longer. A choice is approaching. They will either keep running from what they now know is real, or they will finally step toward the life that has been calling them all along. What they recently discovered about you has already tipped the balance, but one final realization is still missing. When that last piece falls into place, everything they have tried to control may disappear in a single unforgettable moment. And what happens immediately after that is something huge that neither of you expects. The silence surrounding this connection is far more meaningful than it appears. While nothing dramatic may seem to be happening on the surface, your soulmate is fighting a battle that no one around them can see. They have replayed countless moments in their mind, searching for a logical explanation for why your presence refuses to leave their heart. But every answer leads them to the same place, you. The angels reveal that this isn't obsession. It is recognition. Deep within them, something ancient has awakened, something that remembers a promise their conscious mind cannot explain. That realization has unsettled them more than they are willing to admit. They keep asking themselves whether reaching out would change everything, or whether waiting one more day could cost them the opportunity they have secretly hoped for. And the more they hesitate, the stronger the pull becomes. Then something unexpected happens. Without planning it, they notice another sign connected to you. It could be a familiar name, an old memory returning at the perfect moment, or a conversation that strangely mirrors the thoughts they have been trying to hide. They freeze. Their heart races. For the first time, they stop calling it coincidence. They begin wondering if every delay, every disappointment, and every closed door in their past was preparing them for this exact chapter. Suddenly, people who once held their attention no longer seem important. Priorities begin shifting. Old fears start losing their grip. Yet one obstacle still stands between both of you, and it is not distance. It is the fear of vulnerability. Stay with this story, because the next choice they make will reveal whether courage finally becomes stronger than fear. As these emotions continue to grow, your soulmate starts noticing a change within themselves that even surprises them. They become more patient, more reflective, more willing to let go of the version of themselves that always chose safety over truth. The angels say this transformation is happening because they finally understand that real connections are never built on perfection, they are built on authenticity. But just when they feel ready to take the first real step, an unexpected revelation appears before them. It exposes something they never realized about your journey, and it completely changes the way they see your bond. Instead of pushing them away, this discovery makes them even more determined to protect what they almost lost. The only question now is what this revelation truly is, because once it is uncovered, there will be no turning back. Just when they believed they finally understood their emotions, another layer of the truth revealed itself. The angels say your soulmate has begun noticing a pattern they cannot explain. Every time they try to convince themselves that these feelings will fade, life interrupts with another reminder of you. A familiar melody appears at the perfect moment. A stranger speaks words that echo your spirit. Even quiet nights become filled with thoughts they never invited. At first, they dismissed these moments as coincidence. Now they no longer can. Something inside them is urging them to stop running and start listening. Their heart feels lighter whenever they imagine a future where fear no longer makes the decisions. Yet one question keeps them awake: if this connection is real, why did it take so long for them to recognize it? Don't look away now, because the answer is closer than they realize. The delay was never meant to punish either of you. It was shaping both journeys in ways neither of you could have understood before now. Your soulmate is beginning to see how every disappointment taught them compassion, how every goodbye prepared them to value someone who carries genuine light instead of temporary excitement. They suddenly realized that the quality which overwhelmed them wasn't something you tried to prove. It was something you naturally lived. Your quiet kindness, your resilience, your ability to keep moving forward without losing your heart became the mirror that reflected everything they had been missing within themselves. That realization shook them more than any grand declaration ever could. Stay till the end, because what they choose to do with this understanding will determine whether this story remains unfinished, or finally begins. But before they can move toward you, one final barrier rises from the shadows. It is not another person. It is not distance. It is the fear that they may have waited too long. They wonder if the opportunity has already slipped through their fingers, if destiny has grown silent because of their hesitation. Yet the angels whisper that hope has not disappeared. In fact, Something is quietly unfolding behind the scenes that neither of you can see yet. A conversation is drawing closer. A misunderstanding is preparing to dissolve. And a single unexpected moment, one that seems ordinary at first, will become the turning point neither of you will ever forget. What happens in that moment will reveal why your soulmate completely lost control after discovering the one thing in you they never believed still existed in this world. Everything begins to change on a day that seems completely ordinary. There are no flashing signs in the sky. No dramatic announcement. Just a single moment so quiet that almost anyone else would overlook it. But your soulmate won't. The angels reveal that this simple event will strike them with unexpected force because it confirms something their heart has been whispering for weeks. They will suddenly realize they are no longer searching for reasons to forget you. Instead, they are searching for the courage to move toward you. That shift changes everything. The walls they spent years building begin to crack, not because someone forced them down, but because they finally understand those walls were keeping love out just as much as they were keeping pain away. Don't skip, because what happens next is the moment they stop hiding from the truth. As this realization settles in, they begin revisiting memories with completely different eyes. Conversations they once considered ordinary suddenly feel filled with hidden meaning. Small gestures you probably never thought twice about now shine brighter than anything extravagant they have ever experienced. They understand that what overwhelmed them wasn't a perfect image, it was the peace they felt whenever your spirit came to mind. That peace became something they could not recreate anywhere else. The angels say this is why they lost control. Not because they became weak, but because they finally encountered something real after spending so long surrounded by things that only looked real. For the first time in years, they allow themselves to imagine a future built on honesty instead of fear. Yet just as hope begins to grow, an unexpected challenge appears, testing whether this newfound courage is strong enough to survive. That challenge arrives disguised as doubt. A voice inside them asks whether they deserve a connection this meaningful after all the chances they believe they wasted. For a brief moment, old fears attempt one last comeback, reminding them of every disappointment and every mistake they cannot erase. But the angels are already preparing another revelation, one so personal that it will silence those fears almost instantly. Hidden within your own journey is a truth your soulmate has not yet discovered, and when they finally see it, every remaining excuse will fall apart. They will understand that this connection was never asking for perfection. It was asking for authenticity. And the instant that realization reaches their heart, a decision they have delayed for far too long can no longer be postponed, because destiny is about to place both of your paths closer than ever before. The distance between your hearts is no longer measured by miles or time. It is measured by one final decision. The angels reveal that your soulmate has reached the edge of everything familiar, standing between the comfort of silence and the uncertainty of honesty. Every instinct that once told them to hide is beginning to lose its power. They have started noticing that every time they ignore their feelings, an emptiness follows them. But whenever they allow themselves to think of you, even for a moment, a quiet sense of hope returns. That contrast has become impossible to ignore. They finally understand that the peace they have been searching for was never found in running away, it was found in embracing what their heart recognized from the very beginning. Stay with this story, because the next revelation explains why this turning point was destined to happen now and not sooner. Behind the scenes, countless pieces have been falling into place without either of you realizing it. Conversations that seemed insignificant, unexpected delays, and even moments of disappointment were quietly shaping the exact timing of this connection. Your soulmate is beginning to see those pieces fit together like a puzzle they never knew they were solving. They no longer view the past as a collection of failures. Instead, they see it as preparation for the person who awakens something genuine within them. And then, almost without warning, they discover one final truth about you. They realize you never tried to change who you were just to earn someone's approval. You remained true to yourself even when it was difficult. That authenticity becomes the very thing they admire most, because it inspires them to become the person they were always capable of being. Something huge is waiting for you, because this realization ignites a courage they have never felt before. Now the moment they feared for so long is drawing closer with every passing day. The angels whisper that hesitation is giving way to determination, and the silence that once protected them is beginning to feel heavier than any risk they could take. They know that if they remain where they are, they may spend the rest of their life wondering what could have been. But if they choose courage, everything changes. Their heart is no longer asking whether this connection is real. It is asking whether they are finally ready to honor it. And just when they prepare to make the move that could transform both of your lives forever, an unexpected sign appears, one so unmistakable that it leaves them standing still, breathless, realizing that the next chapter is about to begin in a way neither of you could have imagined. That unexpected sign arrives when your soulmate least expects it. It isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. Yet the angels say it reaches deeper than any spoken promise ever could. In a single instant, they stop questioning whether they should trust what they feel. Instead, they begin questioning why they spent so much time resisting it. The weight they carried starts lifting, and for the first time in what feels like forever, they allow hope to breathe. Every fear that once seemed overwhelming begins to shrink in the presence of one undeniable realization: you awakened a part of them that had been asleep for years. They can no longer pretend your impact was temporary. It has become part of who they are. Don't skip, because what they discover next explains why this connection feels unlike anything they have ever experienced. As their heart grows quieter, their vision becomes clearer. They notice that every meaningful change in their life somehow began after your paths became connected. Their priorities shift. Their conversations become more sincere. Even the dreams they once abandoned begin calling them back. The angels reveal that this is not because you completed them, but because your presence reminded them of the person they were always capable of becoming. Suddenly, they stop chasing temporary distractions and begin seeking lasting truth. They realize that real love does not create chaos, it creates clarity. And with that clarity comes an unexpected confidence. They are no longer waiting for the perfect moment because they finally understand that perfect moments are created by courageous decisions. Stay till the end, because one final piece of the mystery is about to surface, and it changes everything they thought they knew. Yet there is still one hidden truth they have not uncovered. Someone close to them notices the transformation before they do and quietly points out how different they have become whenever your name or memory appears. That simple observation stops them in their tracks. They can no longer deny what everyone else is beginning to see. The angels whisper that this confirmation breaks the last chain holding their heart back. From this moment forward, their choices will no longer be guided by fear but by conviction. However, before they take the step they have been postponing, destiny places one final test in their path, not to stop them, but to prove whether their feelings are strong enough to withstand uncertainty. And when that test is over, the message they have been longing to share with you can no longer remain unspoken. The final test does not arrive as conflict. It arrives as silence. For a brief season, everything seems to stand still, and your soulmate wonders if they misunderstood every sign that brought them this far. The angels reveal that this quiet moment is not a setback, it is the last opportunity for them to choose with complete certainty. No one is pushing them forward. No one is making the decision for them. They must listen to the one voice they have avoided for so long, their own heart. At first, the silence feels unbearable. But then they notice something remarkable. Even when nothing around them changes, one truth refuses to fade. Their thoughts continue returning to you with the same warmth, the same peace, and the same quiet certainty. That is when they finally understand that genuine connections do not disappear when the world grows quiet. They become even clearer. Stay with this story, because the next realization is the one that removes every remaining doubt. In that moment of clarity, they stop searching for signs outside themselves and begin recognizing the transformation within. The fear of rejection that once controlled every choice starts losing its grip. The need to have every answer before taking a step begins to fade. Instead, a calm confidence rises where anxiety once lived. The angels whisper that this is the greatest miracle of all. Not that someone fell deeply for you, but that your presence inspired them to become fearless enough to love honestly. They no longer see vulnerability as weakness. They see it as the doorway to the life they almost missed. Every lesson from their past suddenly makes sense. Every delay now feels purposeful. And with each passing day, the decision they once dreaded becomes the decision they are most eager to make. Now destiny stands at the edge of a brand new chapter, waiting for one final moment to unfold. Your soulmate has reached the place where turning back no longer feels possible. Their heart has already crossed the line that fear could never cross. The angels say that what happens next will seem surprisingly simple, yet its impact will echo far beyond that single day. A conversation long delayed is drawing near. Words left unspoken are preparing to find their voice. And when your soulmate finally reveals what has been growing inside them all this time, you will understand why they lost control after seeing the quiet strength, unwavering light, and authentic spirit that has always lived within you. But there is one last secret the angels have been protecting until the very end, and once it is revealed, this entire journey will take on a meaning neither of you ever imagined. The secret the angels have guarded is not about a date, a place, or a dramatic event. It is about timing. They reveal that your soulmate could never have recognized the treasure within you until they first confronted everything they were hiding from themselves. Had your paths crossed in a different season, they might have admired you but never truly understood you. Now they do. Every lesson, every delay, and every unexpected turn has quietly prepared them for this exact moment. Suddenly, they realize that what first captured their heart was not a single conversation or memory. It was the unmistakable feeling of safety they experienced whenever they thought of you. In a world filled with uncertainty, your spirit became the one place where their heart no longer felt the need to defend itself. Don't skip, because this realization leads them to the boldest decision they have ever made. Instead of waiting for another perfect sign, they begin creating the future they once feared. The angels whisper that courage rarely arrives all at once. It grows through small, unwavering choices. Your soulmate starts letting go of old regrets, forgiving themselves for the years they spent doubting what was real, and embracing the possibility that love can be both.